and good afternoon. My name is Laura Milner, and I am the Chair of Voter Services for the Kittitas County League of Women Voters. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2022 School Levy Request Information Event on behalf of the League. We are pleased to be able to host this event as the League has a long-term interest, authentic interest, and sincere interest in supporting education. I would like to also thank this opportunity to thank the League's production and post-production crew of Charlie Sorensen, Dolores Irwin, as well as the program committee chair, Susan Kelleher, and the program committee for making this event possible. Kittitas County League, a nonprofit, has been in existence for over 50 years, has presented events such as these to help educate county voters since 1980. We are a nonpartisan grassroots organization that never supports or opposes individual candidates or political parties. Our goal in hosting these events is to educate voters about ballot issues, because informed voters do make a difference. The League of Women Voters records and retains a full unedited copy of all public events. If any portion of a League public event or recording is redistributed out of context, or to make people appear to say something they did not say, or edited to make an individual look bad or in any way they did not actually look at the original event, then the League of Women Voters will alert the media, provide the unedited video for comparison, and file appropriate complaints with any applicable governing authority. Today's information event will focus on the 2022 school levy event. Be aware that all school districts within the Kittitas County who had an initiative on the ballot were invited. The 4 districts that responded were Ellensburg, Kittitas, Easton, and Thorp. As we begin, I want to note that our ballots were mailed yesterday. Please call the auditor's office if you don't receive yours in a timely manner for the February 8th special election. You still have time to register or change your address. You can do so online until January 31st and in person at the auditor's office by 8 p.m. on Tuesday, February 8th. Your ballot must be postmarked on or before February 8th by 8 p.m. and be aware local post offices have varying closing times, so mailing at least a week ahead would probably be the voter's best bet. There are also 9 ballot boxes throughout the Kittitas County. If you're unsure where yours is, please do check the auditor's office website for the complete list. In addition to this live stream event, this recording will be on the Kittitas League YouTube channel with links found at Kittitas League.org. So with that introduction, it's my pleasure to welcome Kittitas School District Superintendent Angela von Esson, Easton School District Superintendent Tim Berndt, and Beth Parker, Thorp School District multi-age teacher. We will also be having Jinger Haberer from Ellensburg join us at some point. She's running late. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow about 5 to 7 minutes for each person to make to discuss their district levies and how the funds will address the needs of their districts. At the end of the presentation, attendees can have the opportunity to raise their hands and ask questions. Alternatively, feel free to put their questions into chat. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Berndt, who will start.
Good day. Well, thank you very much. I'm excited to be here to represent the Easton School District. My name is Tim Berndt, and I'm the interim superintendent of the superintendent and principal of the Easton School District. And I'm here today to ask everyone to please support the Easton School District levy information, ballot that's going to be coming out. I just wanted to share with all the voters as well that the levy information sheet will be coming out within the next week and a half to all the local voters. What's really important about the 2022 election and maintenance, the educational programs and maintenance levy, is that it is it's a continuation of current collections. So this is not a new tax. This will not be a new tax. It won't increase the levy rate, as a matter of fact, for the Easton School District. Our Easton's levy rate has been the same since 2014, just because, number one, we respect the residents of the community, as well as we're able to really utilize the funds very well. And our educational programs and maintenance operation levy is 99 cents per $1,000 of evaluation. So the only other fund that Easton has out there, the only other tax that the Easton School District has, is we used a bond issue to purchase a new bus. And that is just that's been the cat's meow going up and down to the pass recently. So thank you very much for that support. And that's 68 cents. So altogether, we have a total levy rate of $1.67 per $1,000 of evaluation. And that is well below, that's almost 90 cents below the Kittitas County average, which is, pretty impressive for us. And number one, we're incredibly excited about the levy because number one, it funds the educational program. We started a brand new preschool this past year, and it's been incredible to have the 3 and 4-year-olds come here and get to learn the school and to be a part of the school. So the levy has actually provided equipment for the preschool as well as salaries for our preschool leaders and our paraeducators. The educational programs levy also funds our textbook updates as well as curriculum enhancements. If a teacher comes to me and says, hey, I really need this to show this part of history or of the DNA sequencing, I'll say, sure, okay, and we'll get it ordered in. It also funds our athletic programs, so that's incredible. Regarding the maintenance aspect of the levy, it funds repair of our items. It repairs the playground equipment that we have, as well as funding purchase of the supplies that we need to keep track of some of the snow and salt and sand that we have out at this point in time, as well as it's funding partial custodial time to help clean and support the building. I think what's really important that the voters understand is that we rely on the levy for a portion of our operating expenses. We're also, so far I've applied for and received close to $200,000 in state grants. So that's pretty great. Our teachers apply for grants from the Retired Educators Association of Kittitas County, and they graciously have donated money to our staff for individual programs. And again, it supports the students, the classrooms, the innovations, the technology that we have. And most important, our levy will support the safety of our kids. We want to improve our camera situation so that we can keep a focus as well as the security issues throughout the building. So that's a lot of information. I'm not going to share our PowerPoint because I believe it will be available online. But at this point in time, boy, if you have any questions, I guess hang on to them until the very end. But thank you very much for giving me this opportunity for talking about the Easton school levy.
Our pleasure, and thank you for joining. So let's go ahead and move on to Ms. Parker. I'm sorry, I know that you have a longer name, but I'm missing that in my caption, so I apologize for that. So why don't you go ahead and talk about Thorp? There you go. I can see it now.
Yes, Parker Vandenhoek. Thank you so much for having me on to talk about the Thorp school levy. So we have I'm Beth Parker. I am the multi-age elementary teacher at Thorp. I'm also the president of the Thorp levy committee. So we have 2 levies on the ballot. We have a replacement operations levy that'll be adding $1. I shouldn't say adding $1.83 per assessed $1,000 of assessed. Oh my gosh, forgive me. Assessed value. And just like Tim mentioned, I really want to emphasize that this is a replacement levy. This is not a new tax. This is just replacing some already expired levy dollars that have already existed in our community for some years now. Our second levy is 22 cents per $1,000 of assessed value, and that is our tech levy. So our replacement operations levy, that money goes to fund, the state funds kind of the bare bones. They help us keep the lights on, they pay teacher salaries, but that's it. And so with the help of our local voters, we've been able to fund, we have a full-time K-12 art teacher, a full-time K-12 music teacher, full-time K-12 PE. So we're able to provide these enrichment programs for our students, because sometimes in a smaller school district, some of those extras are difficult to provide. And so this levy money lets us have all of the extras for our kids. That in addition with some grant money has let us have a robust after school program. So we can proudly say that our students have the same opportunities as students in a larger school district. Another big use of this extra money has been to hire extra para educators. And their big job has been to help us run interventions to help make up some of the gaps that the kids developed, in the COVID years. Our kids have not had the school experience that we would have wanted for them these past 2 years. And so with this extra money, we've been able to hire on paras, find the necessary intervention curriculum, and help make up a lot of those gaps for our students. And then I'm going to emphasize probably at least once or twice more that none of these are new taxes. These are already levies that our voters are paying for. We are asking them to renew again. Our smaller levy is our tech levy. And we definitely like to say that Thorp is one of the most technological districts in our county. We are one-to-one. We use iPads for our primary students, Chromebooks for 3rd grade and up. And we've been able to do a great deal of tech training for teachers, especially during these remote COVID years. So for example, our snow days 2 weeks ago, we were actually able to do them as synchronous remote learning days. So, thanks to the help of our voters in past tech levies, we won't have to make up those snow days in June. And I'm very excited about that. So our tech levy, also an existing levy. We are so grateful to our voters because that's let us provide iPads, Chromebooks, smart boards for every student or every classroom in our district. So as a message to voters, thank you so much for your past support. We have used it well, and we intend to keep using it well in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And let's go over to you, Ms. Von Esson, to explain the Kittitas position.
Hi, thank you for extending the invitation to have us here to explain our replacement levies. Just like mentioned with Thorp School District, this is a replacement levy. We have 2 measures for Kittitas School District that's on the February 8th ballot. One is our education programs and operations levy, and the other is the tech levy. The education programs and operations levy is less than $2 per thousand, and the tech levy is 44 cents per thousand. And it's needed money to continue the services to our kids and our families, including providing nursing support, staff for small class sizes and support groups for interventions and playground duties, and just making sure our kids are safe. Another is to maintain the facilities and also the grounds work. That's, these are things that are not fully funded by the state. And this gives us an opportunity to be able to take care of what we have and maintain our facilities and our grounds. It also includes supporting our athletic and extracurricular activities, such as our, even our CTE programs with FCLA, and those are our business classes and our farm classes. It's just a really good opportunity to provide different opportunities for our kids. If they're not in sports, they can be involved in other programs. So the educational programs and operations levy, just to recap, is basically to provide students support and for success, and student health and safety, and then student programs and opportunities. So basically 3 things. And then the technology levy provides innovative learning opportunities for our kids so that they're successful for when they graduate or even going into business or getting a job. It also includes the software, internet, infrastructure, replacement of various equipment to keep us up and running on a daily basis. And it also provides devices for our staff and students. So we have one-to-one devices that kids have access to do their work, if it's remote or here at school. So these are needed, the funding is needed to help support what we're already doing. And it's less than what we've asked for. The rate per thousand is less than what we've asked for in the past. And it's a 4-year levy. So our patrons can plan for paying their taxes and to be able to support our schools. But each year that rate declines, which but it provides the same resources for our schools that we can't. It's really difficult to operate without the support of our community. But thank you for your support in the past, and we look forward to continue to support and working together with our families and community. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, thank you for the information. We appreciate it. And we'll be back with questions. I see where Superintendent Haberer has joined us. Just to let you know, we've changed up the format a little bit. We're dispensing with the PowerPoints because we're going to put them on our website. But so everybody's just making their case verbally. Ms. Haberer, if that's acceptable to you.
Yep, that'd be great. And also I have a link to our website that has some good information. We have an FAQ sheet as well as our flyer that we are passing out. So I would just echo a lot of what Angela just shared. The levy that we have two levies, an EP&O levy as well as a technology levy. Both levies will be on our ballot February 8th. The EP&O levy is a replacement levy to support programming, academic programming, staffing, extracurricular activities, health and safety, all of those same kind of areas that Angela mentioned for us. The levy, bonds are for buildings and levy is for learning. And so the levy is very important. It's 10% of our overall budget for Ellensburg School District. And so there is, it really does add an important part of our budget. And as you know, the prototypical model is how all of the districts get funding from the state, and the prototypical model does not cover the expenses that are needed in school districts. And so, for example, for one FTE for a nurse, you need about 5,000 students in an elementary school for one full-time nurse, but OSPI requires schools to have full-time nurses for students that might have diabetes or who might be on seizure medications. So definitely, and then levies also fully cover extracurricular activities. And so here in Ellensburg, we're going for a 4-year levy at $250 per thousand, and an EP&O levy that will be and that $250 per thousand is a 4-year levy. And we're also going out for a technology levy, and both of those are replacement levies that will be a 6-year levy. And those combined, what we promised our voters is that we would not go over $450 per thousand. And with both the EP&O levy as well as the technology levy and the funds that our voters supported us with, which we just appreciate at the Ellensburg community. The bond projects passed, as you know, approximately 3.5 years ago. And we have 2 beautiful brand new elementary schools, and Lincoln is well underway to being remodeled, and it's going to look amazing when they're done. But the bond projects for Morgan and the high school are expiring. So with the new bond plus the EP&O levy that's on the ballot right now, plus the technology levy, it actually comes up under $450 per thousand. We told our voters we wouldn't go over $450, and when you put it out, I actually have a slide in the slide deck. I'll still send that to you if you want to post it, the slide deck that I have, because there's a nice graph on there that shows how over 4 years, starting in 2023, it's actually at like 430, 432, 430, and even goes down like to 420. So that is in summary what we are putting on the ballot.
Wonderful. We really appreciate this.